Can Justin Steele be the guy he was last year? Heck, could he even improve? Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. The best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day. Like the video and comment anything below. And I will say now, in single-digit days until spring training, again, appreciate you whenever and wherever you may be listening from or time. And thanks for making us the number one Cubs show in the world. Let us know in the comment section, what are your expectations for Justin Steele this season? And today's Tuesday episode is presented by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. No reason to talk fast, Matt. It's a 30-minute show. Since June of 2022, Justin Steele has been fantastic for the Cubs, clearly taking on the role of number one starter for this team. His last 14 starts of 2022, he posted a 2.05 ERA, and then last year a 3.06 in 30 starts. But his final three starts inflated that. He was really better than that, aside from those three. And that were basically his only bad three all of 2023. Finished with 176 strikeouts and only 36 walks in 173 innings. Made an all-star appearance. Finished fifth in Cy Young voting. Sam, let's go back to your open. Steele has to be the number one starter, but could he even be better?
Yeah, Matt, I did an episode on this. I think he's going to be about the same guy that he was last year. I really have become, almost grossly exhausted of the conversation of, is this guy an ace or is so-and-so a one, a two?
Well, it's the last week of the offseason, sir.
No, but I'm just saying in general. It's just, I don't know what an ace or a horse is anymore.
Well, he's the ace of this team.
There's not guys that go 7-8 innings anymore. It's a different era. Do I think he's going to be counted on to be the best pitcher on this team? Yes. Do I think there's a slight possibility there might be another lefty that could be better? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
There is momentum happening here.
But I think you need Justin Steele to be in the low threes with his ERA. He needs to make sure he stays healthy. The way that he pitches, he's going to attack the zone.
Yes.
He's going to try and be efficient with his pitches. The key last year for him, I talked about this, over the wintertime. Two things that he did very well. He kept people in the park, and he did not walk a lot of people. When you have that combination as a starting pitcher, you're most likely going to have success. If he continues to not give away free passes and he continues to keep the ball in the park, he will be fine. When he started to struggle a little bit towards the end, he gave up some long balls. I remember that one game in Arizona. He has that cut ride fastball, that deception that's going to sit between about 92 and 93 that comes in on righties. I don't know why you're laughing at me. I'm just trying to break things down.
I'm smiling.
No,
everybody
laughs at me, man.
I'm not laughing.
And then he's got that slider.
Jed Hoyer might, though.
He's got that slider that really plays like two pitches: the sharp one to get it over the plate, and the big one for the swing and miss.
All right, Lance Olber over here.
I think it's going to be.
Hey, that was a good one.
It was a good one. I think he's going to have success, and could he be better than last year? Yes, but I think
so too.
I think if he's the same version of himself, that this team will be mighty fine.
What a joy to watch Justin Steele. He has what you and I like. We pay attention to some of the other things.
Yeah.
we pay attention to him carrying himself well and carrying himself like an ace. He's fun to watch pitch at a time where, baseball might be taken over by numbers and spreadsheets and binders. Justin Steele is fun to watch pitch from the baseball, the body language, and everything else. And you feel confident he can pitch well against the best hitters and the best teams. And you said it really well right there. The cut ride fastball, 4-seam and 2-seam. He's really able to manipulate that slider now. I heard him drop in a tease about possibly his changeup improving the other day. So we'll see if he becomes a 3-pitch guy this year. Even if he only throws it 4 or 5 times a game, it could still be a good part of his toolbox to add. And there's just no other way to say this other than the Cubs really need Steele to be their ace. I'm really excited to see him on March 28th. Well deserved to get the opening day nod. It instills more confidence in me as a fan that Craig Counsell has so many good things to say about him after watching him just from the side the last couple of years. And last year really was not that big of a surprise when you look at those last 14 outings of the 22 campaign. And so, he's been doing this darn near 2 years if you backdate it to June of 22. And he's exciting to watch. And I think you would agree that he carries himself well. He has the makeup of being the number one starter for this team and possibly cementing himself as one of the top starters in all of baseball.
Yeah, I do agree with that. He has that mentality. I think he's kind of a prerequisite for the Cubs this year where you almost just have to assume he's going to be good, because if he's not, I don't see how this is going to be a very good team.
Wow.
They need him to be good. Now, he doesn't have to be amazing, but he needs to be at least productive.
Right.
But I think there's a pretty high floor with Steele. Unless he forgets how to throw strikes, I don't really see a world where he's not at least productive.
Not a world of regression, right?
I mean, he might regress a little. I could see maybe mid to high threes, but I don't
not
see
to Dylan Cease levels.
No, I don't think he's gonna stink. And if he does, Politis is available. Kaz is available. Ty is available. There's plenty of people that could come in here
once a week
that could sit in and do this show, because if this team stinks, see ya.
So, all right. So
I'm kidding, folks.
If this team stinks, you're going to leave?
I'm kidding.
I'm going to tweet that tonight.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to troll.
Listen,
the fan base.
I watched every single game as a freshman in college in 2012-13. This was a 100-loss club. There's nobody more loyal than me.
Right. You're right.
I would never leave this program.
All right. So I did some mixing it. Oh, nice haircut.
Yeah, you didn't even notice.
We both have haircuts.
No, nobody noticed.
So, well, it must be the white pullover, the Illini pullover.
Yeah.
All right, so I think the Cubs go Steele, Hendricks, and Managa, Wicks, and Smiley.
Oh.
But Counsell told reporters last week that he wants to build in extra rest with all of his starters. That doesn't necessarily mean having a sixth guy consistently, but that they're going to space it out, because that's what he did with the Brewers, and it worked.
You're going to see Javier Assad pitch at some point.
I think we're going to see him the final game of the Rockies series.
Fine. Please.
That's game number 6, and then Steele leads off against the Dodgers, dude.
People keep telling me on the show, oh, you don't like Assad. I like him.
You are an Assad hater, man.
I like him a lot better than Drew Smiley starting.
Oh, Smiley, man.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's a good idea. So
you're
saying
Assad goes game 6, and then Hendricks and Imanaga get a ton of rest between their first 2 outings.
Yeah, and it's going to be, and for the Cubs home, that first homestand, it's going to be about 8 degrees.
Oh, it's not trending well at all.
At all.
Yeah, it's going to snow this weekend. So, So yeah, I got first 6 games in which the Cubs I think they're going to be 5-1, maybe 4-2.
Oh boy, you're setting the bar high.
Steele,
Let's just
Hendricks, and Managa, Wick, Smiley, Assad against the
Mhm,
Dodgers. Steele, Hendricks, and Managa.
mhm, mhm.
Good stuff, right?
Let's just take it one day at a time.
Take it one day at a time. Yeah, look who's talking.
Don't start looking too far ahead.
Well, we're only 9 days away.
If they lose Thursday night, the sky isn't falling.
Falling. Play back this tape. Speak for
Stop
yourself.
stop overreacting. And now let me do now
Speak
now
for yourself.
now let me now let can you let me do my job?
Go Cubs.
Now let me play March 25th in real time, or excuse me, March 28th
All right.
in real time if the Cubs get beat 7-1. And play. Matt, I don't think this team's going to be very good. Matt, Steele, I'm telling you, he doesn't look like the same guy. This offense is quieter than a Chaplin film. Swanson, he's not a real hitter. This is going to be an 85 loss club. Go ahead. Have a little fun. Smile, folks. It's life,
Coming up next, FanDuel updated win totals, odds, overs, and unders. We're going to do it all. And we're going to do that right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by our new partner here on Locked On Cubs. They're going to be with us all throughout the season. That's right, even until the fall, if you can imagine that. Prize Picks, whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Plus, baseball season is right around the corner. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you could turn your sports knowledge into serious cash. Prize Picks is really simple to play, with your entries taking less than 60 seconds to submit, turning $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps of your screen. On the Prize Picks app, you click on today's board, and that has plenty of players and stats to choose more or less on from all the leagues and sports. Download the Prize Picks apps today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 by using code LOCKEDONMLB. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel, Locked On Sports Today. And baseball fans, mark your calendars for 6 p.m. Central Wednesday for the best MLB season preview exclusively on Locked On Sports Today. Get local insight from the MLB local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network and find it at 6 p.m. Central this Wednesday on the Locked On Sports Today 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube or Amazon Fire TV. Latest odds from FanDuel I have in front of me. A few different categories here. First odds, Cardinals plus 160, Cubs plus 210, Reds plus 350. As I'm not disrespecting the Brewers and Pirates, but I'm only really going to list those 3 teams, at least because it's still the offseason. But we have plus 160, 210, 350. That's Cardinals, Cubs, Reds, respectively. But the win totals are all one rung after the other. It's almost it really hasn't changed. I was going to say it's comical, but really I'm just laughing at mediocrity. Cardinals, Cubs, Reds, 84.5, 83.5, 82.5. No surprises, right?
Yo, huge surprise.
It is a huge surprise.
I didn't realize the Cubs were all the way down to plus 210. I've seen them in different places a little bit better than that.
They haven't gotten to the first number being a 1 yet on FanDuel.
Yeah, FanDuel doesn't like the Cubs this year, it looks like. They're
the exclusive ad partner of this show. So.
Yeah, well, no, they're absolutely entitled to say what they want. I'm just saying what the odds say.
Right.
The odds say that they have the Cardinals as the favorites by a game there, and that concerns me. I thought by now it would be at least dead even
Okay.
And it's not. In my eyes, I think the Cubs are the best team in this division. But the people over at FanDuel, they're smarter than I am. They set the lines. I bet them.
Cubs are, again, at 83.5. Reds a game behind, Cardinals a game up. The Reds this week, over the weekend, I should say, suffered multiple injuries, including to TJ Friedel. And so
Can I tell you what my biggest fear of this season is?
sure.
My biggest fear of this season is that this team doesn't produce the way they did last year, but because of the manager upgrade, they stay at 83 wins. So they produce like an 83 win team and they win 83 games. Whereas last year they produced like an 89 win team and won 83. So Bellinger's OPS drops to 765. Steele's ERA increases to 3.92. Yan Gomes hits 231. Those type of things. And
Right.
Counsell finds a way to keep this team competitive. And we end up finishing a couple games out and we win 83 games. I don't think this is going to happen, but that's my biggest fear. And if that happens, there's going to be a lot of unfortunate ramifications for the front office and ownership of this franchise.
Wow. Well, like what? Just real quick.
Just people being very, very upset.
Oh,
at them.
people being upset.
Yeah, and then going into next year, not being overly excited about all the young talent because we
underachieved again.
We underachieved. We had a chance to do more and didn't.
Yeah.
I personally think this is going to be an 87 win club. Will that be enough? We don't know, and that's the price that we have to pay because we didn't go out and go put an exclamation point on this decision, this division. Maybe Counsell will do a great job and get this team to 90, but sitting here 87, 88, some people are 83, 84, 85. That's the kind of pool we're in where we're just good enough where we might do it, but we're not. Boom. And that's what we have to live with as fans. But we'll see what happens starting March 28th. And I like the over 83.5, and I like the Cubs at plus 210 to find a way to win this weak mediocrity of an NL Central.
Do you like Cody Bellinger over under 23.5 Jacksons?
Under.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to take the over, but I would be inclined to go under. Christopher Morel, 25.5 on FanDuel.
Over.
Wow, that's going to be great. And then a lot of the same listings on the pitching side. It's still early. Steele at 160.5 Ks. And Imanaga, 148.5.
Yeah, you could give... Hold on 1 minute. Let me get my phone, man.
Oh, you want the over on those?
If Imanaga's health, I don't like to bet props because there's implied juice on health. Like what if he gets hurt? But if Imanaga doesn't get hurt, and he pitches 175 innings, he's going over 148.5 Ks. You could take that to the bank.
Bellinger's the Cubs' leading candidate for MVP, plus 10,000 though. That's pretty high. Steele, Asea's at plus 20,000.
Yeah, well, Sea's gonna have a better year than Bellinger, I think.
Steele plus 1,800 for Cy Young.
Mm-hmm.
Imanaga plus 1,600 for Rookie of the Year. Michael Busch plus 3,000, by the way.
Yep.
And Craig Counsell, Manager of the Year favorite at plus 550.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your odds roundup from FanDuel. That's the latest from them. And I haven't gone over on the 83.5 yet, folks.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I believe the last time we did this, though, was 84.5.
It dropped.
I'll get back to you within the last 9 days.
I wonder why it dropped.
Yeah, there really hasn't been anything with the roster or anything like that. If anything, the rosters of the other teams have gotten worse.
That means there's been some action on the under.
Wow. Coming up next, let's look at number 9 on the opening day countdown. Amazon Fire TV is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick that you can plug into your existing TV. Whether it's the opening weekend for baseball or March Madness, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. All the latest from the world of sports, which includes all of us at Locked On, with Fire TV channels that lets you dive into game analysis, highlights, and more. Not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, cooking as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust us on this. To learn more, visit amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. Say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tournament, whether you're betting on a big upset or a 1 seed. It's time to go dancing on America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines, and to pick who's going to win it all. Sam, quick insight, or I should say your initial insight on the bracket.
The Big Ten champion Illinois Fighting Illini terrifyingly opened as 13.5-point favorites according to FanDuel on Sunday, and then in 24 hours it's dropped to 11.5. There's heavy action on Morehead State to upset the Illini on Thursday. That will be a dogfight on short rest, and the committee should be ashamed of themselves for giving them only 3 days off after playing 3 games in a row. I'm going to be taking Morehead State on FanDuel.
Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Bet on college hoops until they cut down the nets. FanDuel, the official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. We're back here for our final segment on Locked On Cubs. As we count down the days until opening day, we are taking a look at players in Cubs history who wore that jersey number. Amazingly, we're in the single digits now, 9 days, which is represented mostly by Javier Baez. Sam, you were hard on Javi his last couple of years, but overall, his Cubs tenure as a world champion, your memories of him?
Yeah, I mean, a flashy player that had an amazing glove, great instinct for the game, incredible natural power, that never adjusted his game and never changed what he needed to change to make himself effective. And the league kind of caught up to him. And right now he's one of the worst contracts in all of baseball. But an amazing talent that had a great 2018 campaign. Sorry, I was thinking about other number 9s, and I'm really having a hard time.
Well, that brings us to our question today. Excluding Heimer Candelario last year, can you name 2 other players who wore number 9 the last 20 years?
I could name 2 for sure. I'd like to do better than that, though, if you can give me some hints.
All right, well, let me just count the names I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you got 10 options in the last 20 years.
I'd like to do better than 2.
A platoon catcher, left-handed.
Paul Bacco.
That's correct. A couple of these, honestly, Sam, I don't know. Also platoon catcher, right-handed.
I don't know.
Henry Blanco.
He wore number 9? I thought
guess
he wore number 24.
Maybe for a short time. That's what I have, according to Baseball Reference.
Okay, so here are the names that come to my mind. Let me get those out before I give you a hit. Reed Johnson?
That's correct.
David DeJesus.
Yeah, boy, was he a bad on the TV side. Anyway.
And that's all I know. I'm sorry.
All right, well, I got one more that you should get.
Okay.
So good job, but there is one more that you should get. Marlins trade.
Oh, yeah. Juan Pierre.
That's correct. All right, nice job.
I think he only played 1 year in 2006 or 2005.
That's right. Like that. Remember, each episode's first segment week.
What are the rest of them?
Oh, the rest of them are Scott McLean.
Who?
Exactly. Jody Garrett.
Sorry?
Jake Fox.
Oh, I should have got Jake Fox.
Chad Tracy.
Jeez.
And Blake DeWitt.
Oh, all right. I should have got Jake Fox and maybe Blake DeWitt, lefty.
Jake Fox, you should have gotten. Did he have like 50 plate appearances?
No, I believe it was the 2009 campaign. I could be wrong, but he hit like almost 20-something home runs. He was pretty hot for
Wow, I don't
the year.
remember that.
Well, I'm going to fact check it.
Almost 20 homers.
Well, I could be wrong.
Look into that while I'm doing the outro.
All right.
Thanks so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes, and we'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, smash the like button for the algorithm, and leave a
11
5-star.
In 82 games, he had 11 homers in 09.
All right, you got to pack the punch. On Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Go Cubs.